Hello, it's Laura Coleman here from Be Modern Meditation, and it is Sunday evening, and we're ready to do some meditation. Now, it's another glorious day. I've spent much of today, actually this afternoon, just lying on a blanket out here, and it's been really lovely, hence the blanket hair. And Sunday's a funny day, I think, because especially in lockdown, because it's a time when I think probably maybe a lot of us would be getting together with people we care about, and we would be spending time together. We'd maybe visiting, especially on a beautiful sunny day, we'd definitely be out and about and would be experiencing all sorts of things, whatever your normal groove is that you find yourself in. And so it is quite strange that we're not doing that. And so I thought it'd be a good night to do some loving kindness meditation. And those of you who've joined me a few times may have been experienced one of these sessions before, where it's still a focused attention practice where we're training our capacity to stay focused on what we choose and coming back anytime we notice. And just like with the other types of meditation that we practice, that moment of noticing when my mind's been hijacked and I'm no longer with the meditation, that is still the one of the central moments, if you like, in our practice. And I'm just going to check on the Facebook side to check that it's going live still. And yeah, we are. Fantastic. Hello, whoever's watching me in Facebook now. So loving kindness, it can feel like it's a really different practice to the other practices where we are just being aware of what we are experiencing, and maybe we are using a labeling technique to allow things to come and go, or we're focusing on the breath. So it can feel a little bit different doing loving kindness. But when we think about meditation as being like exercise for the mind, it's a way of training particularly this prefrontal cortex part of our mind, that ability to stay in a place of being able to respond instead of reacting. We're still building that capacity, which is why it's such a beautiful practice, because we're getting all the benefits of doing that, but we're also building this capacity for compassion and generating feelings of loving kindness and friendliness to other people. And particularly right now, it also has this wonderful side effect of really making us aware of our interconnectedness, the fact that we are all intrinsically linked. And it's a beautiful way to connect to that in a physical way almost as well. So if you haven't practiced before, it's a very simple practice in that I'll guide you through. As always, we'll start with the body, because that's a great way to land in our body right now. So we'll shift out of the fast lane, although hopefully on a Sunday, after a lazy Sunday, maybe you're not too much in the fast lane, but we'll shift it back into that looking inwards and being focused on our internal experience as a way to start. And then I will offer some phrases, and the first person we'll offer those phrases to really gently and softly in the mind is ourselves. And they are phrases that designed to offer feelings of loving kindness. It's also called metta meditation, if you want to look it up. So this comes from a sort of Buddhist tradition originally. And so we'll offer these phrases to ourselves, and really with each phrase, as we say them in our mind, we're really trying to really connect to those words, really feel them, so that they're, although it's quite mechanical in that we're repeating the words, we bring sort of our heart to it, we bring a sense of connection to it. And then we offer those words to a dear one, somebody who's really special to us. And right now, that might be somebody who you can't see at the moment, or it might be even that you could actually choose tonight to almost send it to a group of people. So if there's people that you can't go and see, you could actually choose to create that almost like your own house party. You get the house party up. And then we'll send those feelings of loving kindness to a neutral person. And that's somebody who you don't know well, but you see regularly. So it might be somebody who works in the shop, or it might be somebody you see in the office, but you don't know them very well. Or it might be somebody who you see when you take your kids to school, or just somebody that you see regularly and you don't know well. And then we'll send them to a difficult person. And with a difficult person, we don't want to go to 10 out of 10. And this is a capacity, this compassion muscle that we're building. It is something that we grow and we develop. And so choose somebody that you can send those feelings to, that's not really so difficult to think about that it's actually too difficult. So make it doable for yourself. So it could even be somebody that you have quite a mixed relationship with, somebody who you do feel really tender to, but also can be really difficult. So I know for me, there are certain people in my life who I absolutely have they could actually sometimes be in that first category of the dear person, but they could also be in that category of the difficult person as well. So and it can be somebody different every time you do this. And actually it's quite powerful if you do something different every time. And then the final category is to send those feelings of loving kindness to all beings, all humans, all animals, everywhere. And that's when we really are sort of connecting that, like the dots, if you like, really sending it out. And then we come back and bring that back to ourselves as that way to finish. And it's a really lovely way to generate those feelings. Now, having said that, like with all meditation, it's about being curious about your own experience in that moment, because sometimes when you do this, it can feel mechanical. It can feel like it brings up other feelings other than loving kindness, and almost resistance or other things. It's just a case of being aware and noticing what you're feeling without having to get caught up in judgment of that experience. So allow it to be whatever it is tonight, and allow, just see what you can generate for yourself, and see if you can use this opportunity to connect back and to feel loving kindness. And if your mind gets distracted, as it will, just come back. Every time you notice that you've been distracted, just come back. That's all you need to do. It doesn't matter. We're never going to have a silent mind. That's just impossible. But we will reach a place of stillness over time. And the final thing is our posture. So again, with this type of practice, because we are still wanting to be conscious and wanting to be aware of what's happening, we don't want to be fully relaxed and sort of, so relaxed that we're lying down and falling asleep. Although of course you can if that's what you choose to do, but to really get the benefit of that brain training and that building that compassion muscle, it's better if you're active but relaxed. So we also don't want to hold ourselves so rigidly and concentrate so hard and grip it so hard that it equally slips through our fingers. So active but relaxed, that middle place between those two states of holding yourself. So that's about as technical as will be. So having your lower back supported, and ideally not having your head resting back on something, so that even if you're feeling tired, you don't actually fall asleep. In fact, I had a meditation like that this morning where I was kind of very nodding dog, and that's okay. Just notice, and perhaps it just means you've got extra tiredness in your system right now. You will train your capacity to stay conscious and stay aware the more that you meditate. So don't be too concerned if as soon as I start talking you drift away. So with that in mind, let's get started. So closing down the eyes, and I'm just making a little spy out there because Milky there's a little family of ducks on the river behind me, and Milky's in great shame because she was chasing them earlier. So I've just got my little beady eye. She's looking all sheepish, but I don't think she's going to do anything naughty. So closing down the eyes, and as I said, our first step, as always, is to connect to the body as a way of just connecting inwards. So often we are focused outwards, and our physical experience, our mind is dominant, and we get lost in that. So our first step is just to begin to change gears, change lanes, and turn inwards. And to do that, we'll actually use our hearing, that sense that's, whilst it's still outwards, it's like a pathway to get to that inward place. And just noticing the sounds coming to you, seeing if you can make it less of an active thing when you're hearing, and more that you're not listening, you're just hearing. So you're allowing the sounds to reach you rather than going looking for the sounds. It's quite a subtle difference, but it does make a difference in terms of how you are aware. If you imagine like awareness is this container that all the things that come up, and we just choose what to pay attention to. And right now, whatever sounds come up, just pay attention to them. Perhaps there's sounds in the room that you're in. Perhaps you're aware of the sounds where I am. The birds, the breeze. Allowing sounds to come to you. Letting go of effort or trying. You're just hearing. And now we'll go further inwards and we'll take our attention and place it on the very tips of the fingers. So without moving the fingers, just let your full focus rest there. Seeing if you can be aware of any sensations you feel. And if the mind wants to wander, just noticing and coming back. Always having that opportunity to come back. You might notice after a moment there's a gentle tingling or humming in the fingers, like a buzzing or vibration. If you don't feel that, that's okay too. Just keep your attention there and just be aware of whatever sensations you do feel. It can be challenging to build that connection to what's happening in our body if we're not used to doing that. If you are sensing and feeling that tingling, that's your nervous system responding to your attention. Your fingers preparing for movement. Responding to you turning inwards, making that connection between the mind and the body just for a moment. And then allowing your attention to expand so that you can take in your toes as well. So now there's your fingers and your toes. And perhaps there's other things as well. Maybe perhaps you sense sensations in the body or thoughts, and that's okay. Just notice when they become bigger than that sensation, that awareness of the toes and fingers, and just come back. We're just building that capacity to choose where to place our attention. And then see if you can allow that awareness and attention to spread across the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet now. Seeing if you can feel that spreading up the ankles, up to the knees, and then along the thighs and into the hips. And then from the hands, traveling up the wrists and the forearms, up to the shoulders, across the chest, down into the belly. Your whole body and your awareness. Just noticing if there's a feeling of just being that begins to emerge, sense of relaxation, gently letting go of tension without the need to force it or make it happen. And then we'll take our attention to that heart space, the middle of our chest, where we think of as being the center of loving kindness, that place that we generate those feelings, and seeing if you can allow a sense of loving kindness to yourself as that first place. Just imagining yourself as in receiving. It can be difficult sometimes for us to receive loving kindness. Often we find it easier to give loving kindness. So perhaps think of yourself as somebody else would see you, as somebody else would picture you, and how they would send you loving kindness. If that makes it easier to allow yourself to receive it. Or even thinking of yourself as a young child, maybe 4 or 5, standing in front of you, and receive it that way. This is something we're building our capacity for. So we need to make it as easy as we can as we do that. We'll begin to offer these simple phrases And you can choose any phrases that are meaningful to you. I'll make some suggestions that you can use. You can change them to be whatever feels right for you tonight. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. Gently offering those phrases to yourself, gently and softly in the mind. Feeling each word. And now we'll bring to mind a dear person, someone who's precious to us, perhaps someone we can't be with right now, or even a few people. Maybe there's a couple of people that you wish you're with right now who are precious to you. So bring them to mind, whether it's one person or a number of people. Just bring them to mind. And in your mind, just gently offer those same phrases. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Coming back anytime the mind takes you somewhere else. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. And now we'll bring to mind a neutral person. So this is that person who you don't know well, but you see regularly. And we'll offer those same phrases. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Feeling it from that heart space and feeling the power of each word. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. And now choosing that difficult person, someone who it's hard to imagine sending these feelings for. It's hard to imagine them being a person who feels fear or anxiety and struggles. Seeing if you can use that awareness of their basic humanity as a way to still be able to offer them these feelings of love and kindness, no matter what they've done or what they do. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Seeing if you can still feel those words as you send them to that difficult person. And now we send those same thoughts and feelings to all beings, all humans, all animals, whether they're rich or poor, or hungry or full, rich, wherever they are, whatever they're doing, poverty, war, suffering, wealth, happiness, prosperity, just sending it to all beings equally, all animals. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Sending it out, imagining it beaming in all directions. Imagine us all doing that together right now. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. The energy that we're sending out, imagining it being received all over the world. And then coming back to yourself now and seeing if you can allow those feelings of loving kindness to come back to you. Perhaps even the feelings of loving kindness that we've generated together, allowing them all to come back to you, knowing that you've sent those out into the world and they can come back, that you are worthy of those feelings of loving kindness just as much as those people that you sent it to. May you, may I, may we all be happy, be healthy, and live with ease. Allowing ourselves to sit for a moment of silence in that, whatever we've generated through that practice. And then allowing movement to return to the fingers and toes now. And taking 3 bigger than usual breaths, imagining that you're breathing in that love and kindness and also breathing it out. Gently blinking open the eyes. Just noticing the room that you're in and just being aware of what you may have generated. It's one of those practices that actually I struggled with when I first started to do this. I especially found it hard to send love to myself. And I found that it did bring up different feelings, and it's taken that practice and that repetition to really, suddenly it's like, I get it. And it's a really beautiful practice and I really enjoy doing it now. And one of the things that for me has been interesting about this format of these daily live meditations is that often when I'm guiding them, well, most of the time actually when I'm guiding meditations, apart from this time, it's been, whether that's face-to-face or online, it's been part of a kind of coaching context. It's been part of using what comes out of that meditation as a way to understand what's happening in our inner landscape, and using that as a way to take some of that into our day-to-day lives. So it's been really interesting doing these guided meditations without that capacity to discuss and talk afterwards about what you noticed and how it was for you. And so yeah, it's interesting. It's been really interesting for me to do that, and I'm looking forward to when I open the doors to my membership community in a couple of weeks' time, being able to build back in that capacity to talk about the experiences and actually use the nuggets of wisdom that come out of them as a way to as almost like scaffolding to take into your life so that you can experience it differently. So that's one of the things I'm really excited about creating and doing going forward. So I will be sending out more information about that membership community. So if you're somebody that's been enjoying these daily meditations and you're wondering what's the next level, how does this change my life, I'll be sending out details about that really soon. So in the next few days, once I've set up the once I've got the emails all ready to go, so I can fill you in. And if you've got any questions, then do feel free to message me if you'd like to know more. And in the meantime, I hope that you have a beautiful evening, and wherever you are, whether you're in the UK or somewhere else, that you can take that love and kindness into the rest of your night. Take care.